Welcome to another talk show. This is TikTok with G, my weekly show that happens every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. And in the studio with me, I've got John and Michael, and they will introduce themselves. So I'm going to dive right into this whole American Voices program. John, can you maybe explain a little bit about your position with this American Music Abroad program?
Right. American Music Abroad is a State Department program that works with about 40 to 50 embassies all over the world every year.
Okay.
And what my organization, American Voices, does is we recruit and audition the bands, the 15 bands that participate in the touring, vet them, prepare them for the tours, and then work together with the embassies, such as the embassy in KL, to implement the program and implement the tours abroad.
Oh, okay. How long do these tours take, because I know it's a whole year running, right?
Yeah, basically it's 15 tours, and each tour is between 2 and 3 weeks in length.
Ah, okay.
And we have bands covering, the band currently with us today, Revoiced, is an Accapella band singing popular music. We have jazz bands, we have bluegrass bands, we have gospel, we have all different kinds of genres.
Yes, there was a band that you brought over, I think a couple of years back, Johnny Rogers, and they were pretty good too. I think they were here for 2 years.
Yeah.
They joined our KK Jazz Festival as well.
Right.
So, thank you so much for conducting this kind of program, because I think our community needs it to get inspired, re-inspired as well.
Yeah.
And Michael, what's your role in this whole program?
Sure. Mike Quinlan with the U.S. Embassy Cultural Affairs Officer. We love to bring groups from the United States over to Sabah. I think there's a really good connection between the U.S. and Sabah. We share a lot of resources that are wonderful, like natural resources, and also the people.
Yeah.
People are really talented here, and what we try to do is bring groups like this group, Revoiced, to share their musical expertise with those here in Sabah, so that we get a little bit of cultural exchange, a little bit of learning going on.
And that pretty much sums up this program from John and Michael. We'll be right back. This is KK12FM. And we're back with my show TikTok with G, and I've got John and Michael together with me here in the studio. So John, we were talking off air about these programs that the American Music Abroad program offers, and you were mentioning that for each country you would spend about 2 to 3 weeks. And what do you do basically with the band that's touring with you as well?
Well, actually each tour is 2 to 3 weeks, and within that 2 to 3 weeks, we usually go to 2 to 3 countries, on average 1 country per week.
Okay.
This tour is slightly over 2 weeks, and we're visiting Malaysia. Sadly, today is our last day, and going to Indonesia tomorrow, to Jakarta and Palembang.
Okay.
The programs are a mix of live performance, collaboration with local musicians and ensembles, and the band learns from those experiences, learning local traditional and popular music. Also outreach into the community through workshops in schools and music schools and so forth. Today we were at Sabah Institute of the Arts, for example, in a workshop with their music students. And there's a strong element of reaching underserved audiences in the program. Actually, the program goes way back to the 1950s when it was named Jazz Ambassadors, and toured the most famous jazz artists of the time, Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Dave Brubeck.
Wow.
Now the focus is really on reaching the underserved audiences. So the countries we go to are usually not, the London, Berlin, and Tokyos of the world. But we're very excited. We were just in Sandakan, which I don't think has seen many American performing art ensembles over the years. And the kids we worked with in high schools and music programs were very excited to actually have that kind of face-to-face contact with the band.
Nice. How was the response in Sandakan? Was it as pumped up as it was here in KK?
It was very pumped up. The school we visited, there were about 150 kids, and they beatboxers and breakdancers appeared out of the students, and we did some nice jamming together.
Nice.
Learned some songs together. The band performed their Bahasa Malaysia songs and got a few tips on pronunciation.
They were pretty good this morning.
Yeah, well,
thanks
to Sandakan.
That was awesome. I was quite surprised because obviously they're professionals, but I didn't think that they would actually get down to pronouncing each word really, really well, and that was like A++.
Well, actually, just so you know, some of the inner workings of the program, when we audition bands, we do a round of auditions for about 300 bands and narrow that down to 40. And those 40 in the final round are given a world music song from 3 different options.
Oh, I see.
And actually, Sayanki Nabalu was one of the options a couple of years ago that we gave the bands. So it tests their ability to learn something in a different genre from a different culture, different language, and then put it into their own genre. So the bands that can do that well are the bands that get selected for this program.
Interesting. Nice. Okay, over to Michael. Michael, what do you hope to achieve with, the U.S. Embassy supporting this American Music Abroad program together with John? What do you hope to achieve, well, maybe say in the next few years or so?
Sure. We'd love to have people-to-people exchange. That's really the point of what we do.
Okay.
And we want this to build into further collaborations. We think that if we can develop people here in Sabah and make connections with those in the United States, that's going to lead to great things. And we also want to make sure that we have a strong government-to-government connection. And so, we're very thankful to be working with the JKKN this time around and providing some resources for them to bring the level of music up in Sabah too. And so I think education is a big part of what we do, and people-to-people exchange.
And I think it's also a great thing that bringing bands to tour here in this part of Malaysia, which is, I think, compared to Kuala Lumpur, we don't see a lot of these kind of things, and we are very thankful. And also another thing is that I believe that this part of Malaysia, we have a lot of talent, and especially one that student this morning, that girl, she seems so shy. And man, I got goosebumps when she did her beatboxing skills. That was mean. That was cool.
Well, there's a little hidden gems all over the world, and so the point is to bring people out of their shell, maybe, and kind of see what they can do.
Yes, and I'm still getting goosebumps just remembering it. Thank you so much. And that's John and Michael. Thank you guys. You guys have a great day. I'll see you at the concert tonight.
Great.
See you tonight.
This is KK12FM. And we're back with TikTok with G, my weekly show that happens every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. Always here to keep you company on the roads. Just a friendly reminder, keep yourselves safe on the roads and keep those manners by using your indicators before you turn into a junction. And so we had Michael and John talking about all the serious stuff with the American Music Abroad program. And now we have the other people who are responsible for the music with this program. The band that is touring this time round here in KK is none other than
Revoiced.
Oh, did you hear that bass? Bass.
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm all about that bass, boy.
No, she was talking about me.
Yes.
Okay, so let's have a little get-to-know-you session. I'm going to start off with Chris, because I believe that Chris is the main guy behind Revoiced.
Yeah.
Chris, how about a little intro, anything you want to say to the listeners out there?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Chris. I'm from New York, and Revoiced was sort of my idea, my brainchild several years ago, back in 2011 or so. And just with a few friends back then, I started the group that was just a hobby group, and I had no idea that it was going to take off. And almost 7 years later, we're privileged and touring the world. I mean, here we are in your beautiful country, and I never thought that we would be here. So
nice. Yeah. Okay, so initially when you started off the group, was it you had 5 members, or
there were always 5. I've been a part of a few other groups prior, and some of them were larger, some of them were smaller. We had 4, but you just can't get the same sound. 5 is like the perfect number, because everybody you can cover all the notes in the chord plus and then some.
Nice.
And then you have somebody that just worries about the drums and the tempo and really sets the groove, and it's just the perfect number, at least in my mind. So
okay, and then when it's off singing duties and everyone pairs up, who's the one that gets left out?
Who gets left out? I don't know.
Roland.
I don't understand the question.
He's everyone's friend, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then let's move on to Roland.
Yeah, hey.
Since you're on the mic. So what can you tell the listeners about yourself?
Well, I'm from Orlando, Florida. I
love
sing.
That bass.
Thank you.
I was blushing.
I am blushing. From Orlando, Florida. I sing bass in Revoiced. I've been with Revoiced since 2013, which is actually when I met Chris.
Nice.
We actually sang in another group together, and that's how I found out that there was a spot open.
Wow.
for Revoiced. Yeah.
So someone left the group and they were looking for a bass.
Yes, the original member, I forget his name, but he had to get a real job.
He had to get
a real job.
Yeah,
singing is a real job.
It is now.
His wife was yelling at him. So a spot opened up, and Roland has been the guy, and
Nice.
I've been here.
and will be the guy. I hope.
They
I
can't.
love you.
They can't get rid of me.
Don't
so.
leave.
That's good. That's nice. Oh, I did read a little bit about, well, everyone's background. But Roland, I read that you're a big fan of Disney.
Oh yeah.
Which Disney?
Well,
Whatever.
Okay, so I work. I when I'm not singing with Revoiced,
Yeah.
I sing at the Magic Kingdom. I'm one of the Dapper
Oh my
Dans.
God. Can I get like a ticket?
A ticket.
I need a ticket in behind the scenes kind of
Of course
thing.
you can. Just look me up. Of course. I sing at Disney. Before I started working there, I was a big Disney fan. So
Okay.
my family and we went there all the time.
Wow.
I still go there.
That's
It's
cool.
still magic. And I just got another singing job there at Epcot. I sing with the Voices of Liberty. And
Voices of
yeah,
Liberty.
it's in the American Pavilion at Epcot.
Okay.
It's another acapella group.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
cool.
They're fantastic. They're so good.
But not as good as Revoiced.
Oh, thank you.
Anyways, I'm going to be back with the 3 other members from Revoiced. You guys stay tuned. This is KK12FM. And welcome to the second hour of TikTok with G. And I've got all 5 voices of Revoiced here with me. We've got Chris, we've got Chesney, we've got Roland, we've got Nate, and we've got Mark.
Hello.
What's up?
I think the listeners were probably expecting you to sing like hello or something. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you very quickly because we've got a limited amount of time. Maybe over to Chris. Chris, would you say this touring thing and performing with these guys, is it worth it? Because I know you were a major in business. You had a major in business. Is it worth giving up that kind of, job?
You definitely go back and forth. You have your peaks and you have your valleys, your up days and your down days.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it always levels back out to the word yes.
Okay.
Back at home, I have my family very, very supportive of myself, but this group in particular, because nobody's musical at all, and they see what Revoiced has been able to accomplish, not just for the 5 guys and being able to pay our bills, but the impact that we've been able to have on communities throughout the United States. We're really proud to say that we do a lot of, we call them our Music in Schools tour, where we travel around the United States during select times of the year. We work with music education programs, and we put on fundraiser shows where we raise money for those school programs. And to date, we've raised almost $70,000 US dollars. We also do a lot of work with a nonprofit organization that's an international organization called Best Buddies International as well. And so at the end of the day, we just get a lot of intrinsic rewards. So the answer is yes.
Yes.
It's definitely worth it.
Worth it. Would you say you can speak for the rest of the group as well? Or is it just for yourself?
I would think so. It's just for
Yeah.
myself. I mean, I don't know. You guys,
maybe
you guys
Roland
say.
is just buying time. He's just like, I've got my Disney thing going on. No, I'm kidding.
He's hoping to become Mickey Mouse one day at Disney World.
No, don't be Mickey Mouse. There's so many other great characters.
be Mickey Mouse.
It was a joke, Roland.
What's a joke?
Okay.
I love it. And over to Mark, because I know you took charge earlier on with the workshop, which is great. I mean, you were mentioning that you and Chesney have experience with handling teaching, as in teaching kids of all ages. And what is the first thing that runs through your mind when you see a new set of people in front of you? I mean, how do you get the crowd going?
Well, we always like to start out with a song, so
Break the
usually,
ice.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little icebreaker. So if we do our job with that, then that usually hooks people in. But
Okay.
the first thing that I think about is how do we get these students engaged?
Participate
And,
and-
how do we
yeah.
get them participating? Chesney does a great job teaching all the students how to do beatboxing,
Yeah.
vocal drumming, and to see all their faces light up and get really engaged, like that's so cool for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really liked that tune that you taught the whole taught all the students, and I was there earlier on. And It was funny, with what were the words that you were using?
Yeah. Belly mamba.
Belly mamba, but it was
Yeah.
cool. And then we went over to beatboxing, and I thought, like, okay, here we go. I've got a new career waiting for me, but no, I failed miserably. I couldn't beatbox for my life.
But,
Sorry?
well, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
I think the beauty of arts is learning how to fail.
Yeah.
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 I think that if you don't know how to fail, then you'll actually never succeed.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that somewhere.
one of the things about beatboxing is that you start by failing.
Yeah. I gotta fail 100 times then.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've got a whole lifetime. And yes, there was an interesting question during the workshop, and I saw Roland actually he was kind of rigid with the question. It was just like, how old are you guys? Like basically, she was asking, are you guys single? I mean, this is what everyone wants to know. There was
the same question?
yeah.
How old are you?
Well, yeah. Give me yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nah. What's the question again? Yeah,
what
see,
is
that's
the
what he's
question?
gonna ask me, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so Roland, for real.
All right, for real. I need 2 mics for this.
Yeah.
I am 32.
Okay.
And I am single.
Ah, nice. Okay, and then over to Nate. Oh, you can speak for everyone.
Nate is
65.
66.
You look
I'm
really good
retired.
for 66.
We're getting up there, but you
Yeah.
know what? I'm
No,
really-
how old are you?
65. I'm 29.
29 and
Single.
single. And Mark.
I'm 32, and I have been seeing somebody for a couple of years.
Nice. Congratulations. Hopefully next year's the big year. No pressure, no pressure.
No
And then
pressure.
Chris.
I'll be 33 in November.
Okay.
And I have recently begun seeing somebody as of February. So
Nice.
it's going very well so far.
Congratulations.
Thank
Next
you.
year is the big year. Over to Chesney.
So I'm the elder of the group.
Okay.
I had just turned 52, and
Don't lie, Chesney. You look nowhere near 40.
no, well, I'm actually 39.
Wow.
So I
Sounds
turned
right.
39 this
Okay.
year, and I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I'm seeing people. Sometimes I'm not. I'm kind of fluid.
Is it because of the
now.
job, do you think? Is it?
I mean, I think. I can't speak for everyone
Yeah.
here, but I think from what I've seen with artists over the years, relationships can be quite difficult when you're touring a lot.
Yeah.
If you want to have like a traditional relationship where you're gonna get married and buy a home,
Yeah.
it can be quite difficult to be on the road constantly, for
Correct.
months at a time.
Yeah.
Whether that's with a significant other or children, But I enjoy it. I enjoy what I do, and if you're with the right person, you make it work.
Yeah, that's true. Is there any advice that you would give to our listeners out there, aspiring musicians, aspiring singers, who think that there might not be a way out for them, but there's still a little bit of hope for them? Within themselves, thinking that music could be the way, music could be the it career. I mean, is there any advice? Maybe Chris, because I think you've been the longest with this group.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say in the being an artist in general, not just a musician, but any type of artist, a performing artist or a visual artist, it's so difficult because every single day for your craft, you're putting a piece of yourself out there constantly.
Yeah.
And it's other people's job. Once that stuff is out on the table, they can't help but judge it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, a lot of the time in this industry, I have found I've come into face with the word no a lot, which can be quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
And quite difficult to pick yourself back up afterwards, hearing it several times or just not being chosen for a certain role or whatnot. But I will say, I mean, this is proof that I believe that there's a way for everybody. You just have to dig through the muck, and you have to be tenacious about it. You have to really be persistent and not let the word no keep you down. You have to just keep going, and tell yourself that this is what you're meant to do, and you can find a way. There's no doubt in my mind. I was not certain that this was going to last 7 years, and we would be in Malaysia. I had no idea. We just started out. We were singing in my mom's kitchen, and she liked us.
Nice.
But she has to say.
Moms always like
she
their
does,
boys.
yeah. She'll say that that's not true, but she's a liar. So, I would just say remain positive, even in the face of the many no's that you may hear.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do anything you put your mind to, and that's not just to music. That you can apply that to life. And going back to what Chesney said, don't be afraid to try, and don't be afraid to fail, because that's how we learn.
Yeah.
So
Get back up and try again, Aaliyah.
there we
Actually,
go.
that was just for me, but thanks. Okay, in just a short bit, I'm going to get the guys to give you a little snippet of what they will be doing tonight. Stay tuned. This is 89.5 KK12 FM. Welcome back to KK12 FM, and this is for your listening pleasure. Revoiced.
Hello, hello, baby. You called, I can't hear a thing. I ain't got no service in the club, you say. What did you say? Yeah, you breaking up on me. Sorry, I cannot hear you. I'm kinda busy. Stop calling, stop calling. I don't want to talk anymore. I lift my head on my heart on the dance floor. Stop calling, stop calling. I don't want to think anymore. I lift my head on my heart on the dance floor.
And that was Revoiced with their cover of Lady Gaga's Hello Hello right here on KK12 FM. Stay tuned.